A thing that I think most parents would talk about would be the time when they became parent, where all of a sudden you take on another kind of responsibility for a little child, and at the same time you also change your own perspective, because all of a sudden you are connected to someone with whom you know that you will be connected with for the rest of your life. This little person will be heavily influenced by you and the way you treat the child, the way you talk to the child, the way you bring up the child. But the little child will also have a huge impact on your life and be there most likely for the rest of your life as something very valuable. So, of course, becoming a parent means that you take on a new kind of responsibility in your life. All of a sudden, it's not about yourself, it's about yourself and your family. So this makes a huge difference. Around the time when I became a parent, or me and my wife became parents, just 5 years later, I actually had a diagnosis of cancer, which was in the age of 32 for me. And that diagnosis, together with this new responsibility as a dad, as a parent, was very shocking, of course, because there was nothing in the world that I would rather do than having the possibility of seeing my kids. At that time, I had 2 sons, to see them grow up and see them mature and be a part of their life and so on. And then all of a sudden, this diagnosis disturbed that perspective and that vision and that hope. Luckily, I had an operation and the cancer was removed, and there has been nothing since then, until recently, but that's another story. All of a sudden, it was very clear to me that that life was here and now. That you have to make sure that you are living the kind of life that you want for yourself. And it doesn't mean that your life has to be so fantastic and you have to have all kinds of experiences all the time, but at least you have to make sure that you make steps in a direction that is right for you, that is right for your family, and so on. And it also again changes your perspective on the future, because I cannot take for granted that I will be here in 30 years from now or in 40 years from now. I have to make my plans, and of course, having a diagnosis like that doesn't mean that now I cannot make any plans anymore. But inside yourself, you know that you cannot be sure that there is a perspective 10 years or 20 years ahead. And in different ways, looking back, I can also see that has sort of sharpened my life and what I wanted to do with my life quite a lot. After 92, where I had my diagnosis, I had quite a big career as an actor and a singer, something that I really didn't expect at that time. But all of a sudden, some energies came together and led me in that direction. That gave me some fantastic moments and some fantastic experience that I would not want to be without. So after that, I worked 13 years as a professional singer and actor, and was allowed to do a lot of very, very interesting roles and parts in different productions. So you could say that my life took a turn at that time, and I got to do something that I really enjoyed doing. And later on, after 13 years, with constant work as an actor and a singer and so on, all of a sudden I had a full season without any contracts at any theater and so on. And then I made another turn in my life and returned to teaching I'm educated as a teacher, and I have always enjoyed teaching very much. So I sort of went back to my teaching career after that, and made a choice for myself at that time, and that made a lot of sense. So I think that my life has, and my ambitions somehow were sharpened by the fact that I was a parent, that I was carrying a new responsibility with myself in my life. But also maybe the fact that I had a diagnosis and that wake-up call to say, hey, life is here, life is now, do what you have to do, and do it now. So that was very interesting.